Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. Thanks to Lily for the last hour with Craft Together. There are loads of lovely comments coming through and lots of questions during that show as well. But we're back in the Craft House, very excited about this show because A, I love the theme tune. And B, if we're in the Craft House, it means we have a wonderful guest. And if you saw Wake Up Call this morning, you will know we have the lovely Sandra from Sanntangle with us. And you will know that we have got some amazing products for you. And we get to explore them in more detail over the course of the next couple of hours. So if you're one of those people in the first show who wanted to see a particular range, do shout and let us know in the show. And hopefully we'll get round to show you everything. But there is something for everyone, I think, across this show. If you're new to stencils and Sanntangle, then we've got kits for you. If you're a bit more of a aficionado, a fan already, there may be some kits here that you haven't yet got your hands on. What I will say again though from the top is make sure if you see something you like, you get it nice and quickly because we don't have huge amounts of stock. And also just today, say for those of you who are within Club Inspired, don't forget when we have our third parties in, everybody pays that same price. However, we have discounted the prices for you, so you're going to see some fantastic deals. One thing I must just say, and this was me being absent-minded in the last show, I never revealed the winner of our prize. Maureen McNally, congratulations to you. You won our last little giveaway in the last show, celebrating World Art Day. There's another giveaway in this show as well. So all you have to do is simply get in touch. Maureen, ctvprizes@crafterscompanion.co.uk is the email address to claim your prize. And in this show, comment along, let us know why you love Sandra and all of her products. Ask all of those questions as well, and we'll pick a winner at random to win that Colour Your World selection at the end of the show. But let's say hello to the lady in question who is over the other side of the studio. Brilliant first show, Sandra. It's lovely to have you back, and lots more up your sleeve in this show for us.
Absolutely, of course. We've got something for everybody, whether you want to give it a go and do something a little bit more adventurous, or you think, do you know what, I quite like the idea of that, then maybe we can sort of do that. But please, I'm happy to answer any questions or anything that you want to sort of shout out about, so it's great. Maureen, I'm so glad Maureen's won. I do actually know her.
Do you?
She's not been very well recently, so I hope you get a little bit better, and I'm glad she won. That's lovely.
And just to say as well, your little friend has disappeared. Where's he gone now?
I thought it was about time I got him to get some work done. So he's he's on sewing machine.
Ah, of course he is.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
Always. I don't know what he's making. Probably a new shirt for himself.
Yeah, right. A new hat maybe.
Yeah.
He's making it work by magic as well, as we can see.
Yeah. No power. Yeah, he's a bit dodgy on that seat though, but
yeah. Don't fall off there. Health and safety. We'll say a few hellos in just a second. But Sandra, I know, as we had in the last show, loads of people watching, lots of your fans watching as well. But for people who don't know about Sanntangle and about the range that you bring us today, just tell us a little bit about what it is. Because a lot of people earlier were saying, well, what is this? I've never seen this before.
It is one of those things, very niche. It's about you learning to draw. Now, I don't give you a blank piece of paper and a pencil and say, off you go and find a bowl of fruit. It's not what we're about. I give you a stencil. The stencils don't look, though, like the end product. It gives you shapes. It's almost like you're having a ruler and you draw a straight line. It's a support structure, isn't it? Don't need instructions for that, you know, one to the other. But what I actually do, give you the basic shapes and I give you a set of instructions. And as long as you follow the basic shapes, putting them in where I say they're going to go in at a certain time, or that you can tweak it a little bit, it's fine. You're going to create such wonderful artwork. And of course, once you follow the instructions and you get to grips with what it is that we do and how it works, you're going to be creating your own wonderful pieces of art, finding different things in those shapes. So yeah, that's basically what Sanntangle is. Simple as that.
And it's amazing because you look at some of the finished samples which you'll see across the course of this show, and I know what the reaction will be if you've never seen this before. You'll be like, well, I can't do that. That's impossible. But it isn't. It's impossible made very possible. That's what that is. And we've got a whole selection of kits for you. Shop the show, shop the day for all of these as well. And we are going to have a look first up at the sort of starter bundle. Few quicker lows. Radical Rates on the socials. Sister P4 is back. Shelly86M is in Southeast Michigan. And Love to Create LC says, hello, Ben and Sandra and team. I hope you're all enjoying your day. Chantal says, welcome back, Sandra and Dobby. And Deborah Smith says, hi Sandra and Ben, watching whilst recuperating, but I cannot wait to see what amazing products you are demoing today.
Oh, exciting.
Deborah Ann says, I'm thrilled to see you on Crafters TV. And Karen Eberling says, well, nothing is getting done in my house today.
During the club.
Excuses.
Things get done in my house, but usually it's on paper or on sewing fabrics and things like that. It's never housework, I'm afraid.
The first question of the day from Chantal. He says, Sandra, what part of the UK does your accent come from? I'm from Australia and I love hearing all the accents.
I'm originally from Stoke-on-Trent, which is sort of central, I would say. Would you? Stoke-on-Trent, yeah. However, I've lived around sort of Derbyshire, that kind of area for the last probably 20 years. So you'll probably find there's, when I sort of talk passionately about something, you get Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah.
When you sort of put me in teacher mode, it may be a little bit of Chesterfield and Derbyshire mixed in there as well. So yeah, that's basically where I'm right.
A bit of a mixed accent. I always feel I'm like the most accentless person here because like everyone seems to have like a really cool accent and I'm just very normal. Anyway, let's get started with the Stencils collection. Not surprised to learn that half of this stock has already gone because I feel like from the comments that we had earlier, this is new to a lot of people and this is obviously a great delve into the world of Sanntangle and Sandra. It's £25, $35, as I said. Everyone pays that price today. You see you're making the saving, but take us through what we're going to be getting here, Sandra, because once we've sort of taken this little course, if you like, we're going to be able to create these works of art here, aren't we?
You absolutely are. This gives you a taster session into a lot of different themes, so you can get the idea of what it is that you like, and then of course you can choose relevant stencils accordingly. So you've got little people in there, you've got a little bit of Japan with some flowers, you've got bouquets of flowers, single blooms, you've got a Locket Lane house, and you've also got some sort of abstract shapes that you can sort of work within and around, which make great little cards. But all the instructions go through everything that you can sort of see on the front or the back of the paperwork. As well as that, I'm also giving you, because we have had a few questions about paper, as we've mentioned. So there's some cartridge paper printed postcards in there, which are the perfect size for you getting started. And of course you've got your fine liner pen, which is an 03, so fine nib, a 2B pencil, nice and soft for sort of blending and smoothing. And of course you've got that tortillon, and it all comes in a nice little clear plastic A5 folder that you can put in your bag, put in the car, take with you wherever it is you're going, and tangle whenever you want to do it.
And this is the booklet. We'll be looking at this with Sandra just now. So this is the booklet and all of your stencils that you're going to be working with to allow you to create all of these fantastic designs. And what I love about this as well is you look at the images, you think, well, I can't do it. And then when you look at actually what you are going to be doing, it's all very sort of straightforward and very accessible for everybody. So let's look at this. Half the stock has already gone. Have you got some finished samples over there? I
have, yes. I was sort of all organised and then I'm not because they were here. I don't know.
Oh, someone been tidying up?
No, I've got them. They're here on my desk.
Oh.
It's like, where's my phone? You know, did you say to yourself, where's my phone? And you're actually on it.
Yeah, done
anyway,
that.
Right, so yeah,
Blame
of course.
Dobby.
He's got his own phone. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't pay the bill though. So here we go. This is the Home Sweet Home. This is the one I demonstrated a little bit earlier, and you can see we started with the house. You've got little steps, little tree going on in there. Then of course you've got this lovely vase of flowers, but you could make this as full or as single bloom if you want to. I mean, if you look at this shape here, and then you look back at the tree, it was done with the same stencil. And then, of course, you've got this lovely little flowers that you can create with it. Now, this one, a little bit different because I've used a beautiful piece of paper in the background, but that single bloom that's on the instructions here, I've actually used it twice to create my own design. But then, having a little sentiment, a few little dies, it shows that you don't have to stay small. You can actually do some beautiful things. Now, that is worthy of a frame, isn't it? It's a piece of artwork in its own right. But you've done this bit. And I think the thing is as well, doing this and sending them as cards to people, you have to sign your work because it's your work, you've drawn it, but they're more likely to keep it and frame it than they are with a regular card maybe that you buy from one of the high street shops and things like that. Just means that it's more personal from you to them, isn't it?
Absolutely. And again, you'll see for yourself just how easy it is to be able to tangle with these. Debbie's joined us saying, hi guys, love Sanntangle. And Adrienne says, I'm so excited for these new crafts. This is a definite must Buy. And Debbie's just said, I've ordered the Getting Started and Stars collection.
Oh.
Now I can just relax and enjoy Sandra's demos. I know a lot of people were talking about the affirmation kits, which we've got the affirmation symbols, which we'll come into later, back to class kits as well. We're going to have a look at this with Sandra now. Just a question, I don't know if we are doing this today. Sister P4 is saying, is the Getting Started kit the only one that includes the pencil, tortillon and the fine liner? If yes, are they available separately?
It is here. You can get them separately, but not from crafters today. We've only brought a small amount of items because it's well, welcome back kind of thing. But yeah, you can actually get those items separately, but not from crafters today.
Okay, so the way forward is this kit. And we're going to have a look at this now with you, Sandra.
Oh, right, okay. Right, so here we go. Instructions. I'm just going to get straight in and draw something.
Yeah.
Now, we did the little house earlier, and what I'm going to do now, I thought it'd be nice to draw this little person here in the rain. Yeah.
Okay.
So here we go. So got my piece of cardstock. Now, because this is quite small, I could actually, if I wasn't going to use this postcard as one whole piece, or, you know, as a postcard, I could actually cut it in two and get two out of this. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a base.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way for a sec so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to use this shape. Now notice you could actually do it two different sizes if you wanted to. And I'm going to stick with this one here. And I'm coming in with pencil. We did have a bit of a conversation about this a short while ago. I'm going to show you at what point I turn to pen. So there it is, okay? And then I need a shape. I've got this one here, look, number 15.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put that, now it's up to me to decide. Do I want it straight? Do I want it that curve that way? Do I want it curved that way?
I think it's got to be jaunty.
Yeah, and this is the nice thing, isn't it? Because I'm giving you instructions, but I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm saying you can do whatever you want to do. It's your artwork. There we go. That's the first bit, okay? So the next one is I'm going to put a couple of little feet. So a little curve either side. And then sides here, I'm going to extend this out a little bit so that this person has got arms. There we go. Look at that. At this point, I could actually start with pen, because all of this little person now going to go around the outline, like so. Because this is going to be a silhouette. Drawing people, we always get a little bit worried about that. So because I'm going to just fill that in with black ink, you're not going to tell. So then the umbrella little section again. So, okay, it wants me to split the space up in a few bits. So if you're not confident, you don't want to do it with pen, not a problem. You can do this in pencil, but I can come straight in with pen. You see, I'm following over that line. And then I'm going to put one here, one here, one here. See where I've just slightly missed that pencil?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, because, you know, it's becoming my little bit of design now, isn't it? And then, of course, you might want to put something, let's put the curves in first. There you go.
Ah, yes.
There they are. So with this particular one, there isn't a line where you've got the umbrella, but there is on the little geisha. But you see where you've got your point there? That's where your line's coming from for your handle. So let's put that in so it looks like this person's holding. And then I'm going to use a bit of an angle. And I'm going to come in with, you see, I'm sort of like flicking it almost. So they're all different sizes. And then when I get to the bottom here, it's going to touch, and then it's going to just flick up.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's splashing. So we can do a few of those. See, it's going to sort of touch the umbrella. You can actually have a few little splashes coming off the umbrella as well. There's going to be nothing really under there, is there? So let's just put those in. A few more over the top. We can have that come in the other side maybe. Again, a little bit of a splash. Couple in there. Couple down here. Okay, so just 1 second. I'm just going to switch. Have I got a bigger pen? Never have when I want one. You know what it's like. But I'm going to come in. I'm going to completely fill in.
Okay.
This little guy here. I mean, you could do it with a pencil as well, whatever you've got to hand, really.
Mine is just saying, so mesmerising watching, I may forget I have to go to work in a bit. Don't be late for work.
Don't be late for work.
But we do. You always come back and watch later on. Kathy Livesey just says, Sandra is an amazing person.
Oh, thank you.
And her products are awesome.
Yeah. I actually met Kathy when I went to America in January.
Oh, yeah.
We'd had a little bit of an issue with her parcel, got returned to us, and it was the week before I was going out to America, so we delivered it
Well, you took it out there?
Yeah, I took it with us.
Now that's service.
Our accountant wouldn't let us have the holiday on the business, though. He was like, no, that's not a business expense. We tried, but didn't we? So, I mean, that was very quickly, wasn't it? I mean, let's
brilliant, though.
Just a touch of pencil in, and I'm going to put some on each side, look, of those little shapes there, just so you can sort of see the tortillon. Just going to rub out those little lines there. I don't need them anymore. Okay. And where's my tortillon? So if I soften, I mean, this would look fantastic, wouldn't it, in bright colours?
Absolutely.
So if you mix and match whatever your regular colouring medium is.
And that tortillon, again, just for people who don't know, is to soften the lines, right?
It is. I'm literally rubbing the surface of the paper and that pencil's moving. But you'll notice, look, I'm only softening, I'm only shading one side of it. If I bring in a white, I've got a white pencil here, and add a little bit of white on that side. So you see that. What I'm after is the dark and the light. Let's bring a bit of that in. So that gives me my light. But if I wanted this to be, look at that. If I wanted this to be a little bit darker, bring in a black coloured pencil. And I could come back down here, look, and add a touch of black in. Because I've already done the shading, it's already done the work for me. But this is kind of a bit of a masterclass enhancement, if you so to speak. You see now how it looks a lot darker there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, let's give him a bit of ground to sort of stand on. And there you go. I mean, look, how lovely is that? Imagine that. I hope you're feeling better soon. Or, yeah, just a little, could be anybody. You could even add a little skirt on if you wanted. You could start going a bit crazy with it. But that, in its simplest form, is page 1 of this starter set book.
Yeah, it literally is, and it's 7 steps to be able to create that. And then you can go on to create things like the small Japanese scene, and again, all of the components that you need here described in the book, and then you've got all of the stencils to be working with as well. You go from that to creating a vase of flowers, and it's like, you know, these small steps that are so easy to follow that is then going to allow you to create, you know, beautiful pieces of artwork like this. As I say, you know, if you're one of those people, and I keep quoting this because I read it a lot, I can't even draw a stick man. You would look at that and think, well, there's no way that I can do that. Look how easy it is to follow these steps to get to this point, and then you can just choose your sort of, you know, colouring medium of choice. This was the little house as well, by the way. So if you want to see Sandra working with that, we did that on Wake Up Call this morning, so you can go back and watch that show. But again, you know, all of these beautiful flowers, step by step, just building up as you go. Take your time with it, and very quickly, I think you're going to be surprising yourself as to how good you can be with this system. But if you want the Getting Started collection, you will have to be quick though, because we are over half the stock of that already gone. It's £25, which will get you the booklet with your stencil. You're also going to get your 5 postcards in there as well, plus your pencil, your tortillon, and your fine liner in there. All your stencils, as I say, with the different shapes and themes, all comes in your little A5 folder. But be quick if you want to go for that. I think across the board, you're going to have to be super duper quick. Moving on. Okay, next up is a bundle back to class, set 1 and 2, $39.99 or $55. We'll have a look at this with you, Sandra. And again, for people who don't know, you obviously run your classes, don't you?
Yes.
So are these designs inspired by the classes that you did?
They are, yeah. Well, I just said when we run classes, people come and they don't know what they're going to draw. I don't put a picture on and say, you come to this class and you're going to learn to do this.
Yeah.
We just say, come to this class. And people, this is really funny. But people turn up and then they don't know what they're going to draw. They have a stencil, but they don't know what it is.
I love this.
So it's really good fun, and it's one of those things, it feels a little bit like Christmas because you don't quite know what you're going to get. And then, of course, you follow along, and as you sort of find out what it is, it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't believe I could do that. So this is sort of inspired from them. So they're never quite exactly the same, but let's look at these. Look at the owl.
That's incredible.
The dragon, I'm definitely going to show you how to draw that little bit of the dragon in a minute.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got this lovely little scene. It could be at a railway station, it could be your hallway, getting ready to move, things like that. But it just shows you how you can change things. And our second one is the galleon.
Wow,
you can draw not just a little boat, it's a galleon.
Full-on pirate ship.
Lovely little Fabergé egg there. So
Yes.
whether you had it hanging like this one is, you could mix and match that one. Imagine changing the patterns on this. And then of course you've got this little book with the sort of the butterflies and the flowers coming out. Couple of little samples here. I mean, different ways of it. There's that owl.
Wow.
But that's the one that's in the instructions. But if you wanted to change it about a bit, you could have it. Oh, sorry, dragon. You could have it like that one.
Yeah.
So you could actually make the two halves the same. There's this lovely little picture with the little mirror and everything else in there. Then of course I've talked about the dragon. This is my original dragon we did in class, so we've got a slightly different shield. But again, bringing that one back, look, that's a dragon, both eyes.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Of course, different eggs, so you can, that one's sort of sitting on the ground, look, you can make it just black and white. Of course, there's one of the galleons, look, even the waves. But these are pieces of art.
They're all frame-worthy, aren't they?
And you're like, oh my, how does that even happen?
Yeah.
So I really want to show you this.
Can we do this from start to finish?
Just do this one.
Just do that.
So here we go. Oh, I've lost my stencil. So, okay, the dragon. Now, sometimes if you think you were going to draw a whole dragon, it could be, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do it. So what I've done, I've given you little bits and pieces that allow you to draw part of a dragon, and then some bits can be hidden.
Yeah.
So instead of having the sort of circular frame, you can do that if you like. But in this stencil, I've given you like a shield design. So there's the part of your shield or your initial frame. I'm not going to worry about the detail on that because I want to sort of show you how to actually draw the dragon itself. So, okay, we've got this little shape here. I'm going to rub out this bit inside. Okay. And I'm going to draw this straight in with pen. You don't have to, again, I seriously suggest when you're drawing any of these stencils, the bigger ones anyway, always go in with pencil.
Yeah.
Okay. So one there, look, and I'm going to bring one down here. Again, let's just rub that out. I'll just sort of do half of it so you get the idea. I'd turn my stencil over and then I'd draw this on the other side. Okay. Doesn't look like much at the minute.
Doesn't.
It could almost look like a clown with funny hair, couldn't it?
It does
You
look a little bit like that.
You see that? So, okay, let's have a look. So I've got this one here. I'm going to follow this shape up and down, and I'm going to come around here, and I'm going to put a line in there. And then I'm going to follow this one. I'm going to put a line in there. And then this one, let's put a line in. And this one, let's put a line in. Let's go up there a little bit. Same with this one. So you see, I'm not exactly joining the lines. They're sort of coming around and creating these like little shapes.
Yeah.
So then if I come here, put a curve in.
Oh, here we go.
Curve.
It's starting to take shape now, isn't it?
Curve. Curve. And same down here. Curve. But I'm giving you the instructions to do this, but you're creating it. You're deciding how long these curves are and how long these talons are. You can decide, you know, whether it's going to be a cute dragon, whether it's going to be a real mean dragon.
Yeah.
But this is how you start with those little pieces. Next thing then, let's bring the eye in. So I'm going to put the eye up in this sort of corner here. And to start with, I'm going to put some little shapes in because it's kind of hidden behind a few different bits and pieces. So circles are a seriously massive thing in Sanntangle. We always use them. Now, if I'm going to say circle, though, I'm going to give you a stencil to draw a circle.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it freehand, it would be a bubble. Yeah, we can draw a perfect circle. We can't, but we can draw bubbles,
Bubbles
can't
we can do.
So I've got a couple of little circles in there. So my next little bit, and I'm going to sort of switch to pencil, is I need this shape. And I'm going to slightly angle it. But again, you are the one in charge here. You're the one that decides how much to angle it or not. So let's put that in, okay? So far, so good?
Yeah.
So let's have a look, just a quick look at the sort of the instructions here so you can see where it's going. See, this talks about the pattern on the shield. This talks about your putting your little bits and pieces. So here, look, we start at number 20 for the eye, and it works as a round to 24. And then further on, we get a bit more detail. Look how detailed we come into these. So, okay, let's go into pencil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself a little line over the top here and another line over the top there. Okay, and I'm going to put one down here. Nothing crazy there. So next little bit, in this shape, we need to put a bit of a bubble, like this. It's not going to be perfectly round, we don't want that, we want a bit of a bubble. And then I'm going to bring another line inside it. Okay, see, there he's coming. So then inside this one, I'm going to do a sort of another, working my way around, like so. And then instead of having a line, I'm going to sort of bring in a little bit of a pointy shape like that. Okay, so next little bit, again, we're moving on. So if I just sort of show you, there I am, look at number 24.
Yeah.
Working my way around. So we get into some little leaves now. There are leaves on the instructions on the stencil, but I'm just going to come in and put some in because we want to sort of cover his eye up a little bit. So if I do that in pen, then we can't change that. Let's put one here. You see what it's doing? It's kind of hiding both ends of your little dragon there. There you go, so put one in the back there. So we want to sort of come in and put some little like, almost like little U shapes. You see they're all a little bit random. Making my way up there. And a couple down here at the bottom. I'm going to put another leaf there, see, so we don't have to sort of address that edge. And then here we're going to have some slightly bigger ones. Of course, if you're thinking Locket Lane and the keyhole from earlier, that's like brickwork that you would put on the outside. Like so. Let's put this now in with pen. Bring that into there. Let's draw those lines in. Like so. And into there.
It's amazing how quickly it takes shape, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And just put some little lines in here. Again, I've done this really quickly because, of course, you know, I'm on TV time. But then, of course, you'd fill that in, a little bit of a highlight there, fill that in, you get something that looks like that. There he is.
Yeah.
The only little thing then, I mean, there you can see I've drawn it all in pencil. If I remove the pencil now, I always wait to make sure it's fully dry. There you go, there he is. But, hang on, where's my little, there you go, my little doofy. So if I bring a bit of pencil in here, let's put a few more of those, you know, like little bricks.
Yeah.
Like scales into there just to finish that bit off. Bit of pencil, and again, I'm not colouring, I'm just applying a little bit of pencil in there. Bit round there.
Is this something you do like time-wise? Is this something you do over the course of a few days or?
Half a day.
Half a day?
Yeah, we come for the whole weekend. We get through 4 projects.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah, I make them work. We keep the pace.
Crack the whip.
Yeah, absolutely. But we feed them as well. So
Oh, that's
yeah, there you go. So just adding that little bit of pencil. You see, you could spend, like I say, 3 hours just doing this one, but let's sort of just bring that in.
And just explain that tool you're using again now for Carol, because she says, is that tool you're using, is that a pencil blender?
It is. It's you could call it a paper stub. It's not as nice a name as a tortillon. It's rolled up paper, very tightly rolled up, and then a little bit of PVA glue sort of sticks it at the end, and it sort of moves the pencil across the surface of the paper. And there we go. There's his eye, and there's his little claws. So if I bring the coloured version back in, because of course, I mean, look at that. It's just lovely, isn't it? There it is. There it is in colour.
I mean, unbelievable.
Look at the talons on that baby there.
Look at the talons on that baby.
Yeah, look at it. From there, so from that one to that one to that one. It is absolutely, completely achievable.
And that, of course, is back to class, the first back to class. So you're going to be creating, I mean, that owl, I just think is absolutely incredible. The dragon in there as well. And of course, you've got that beautiful scene with the stacked luggage. All of your stencils are included in there once again. And again, you know, you flick through this, you can see the steps there that Sandra was showing you to achieve that look with the dragon. Some of the steps just here that she was just showing you. So it's all done. There we go, here with the claws that she was showing you. All done just by following the step-by-step numbered instructions and then the pictures of kind of each and every step as you go along as well. So that was that's the first one that you get within the set. And then the second class that you get within the set is, I mean, I absolutely love the galleon. We've had someone actually message saying that they've they've done the galleon. Who was that who messaged me? I'll have to find the message in just a second. But similar sort of thing again, very achievable to the Fabergé egg, that galleon, and then you've got that cute storybook as well. It's
Absolutely,
really cute.
yeah. There's so many things in there, isn't there? I mean, there's so many things to do. I can show you if you want the galleon.
Yeah, should we have a look?
Yeah, we could do a really quick version of it. Here we go. So let's have a look at this. So you can kind of see that there's 3 projects here. You've got like a bit of an egg with shapes in there. You've got your little book here. Even the edge of the stencil is going to give you a shape that you need. And then of course here you've got the kind of shape that gives it a start. So again, and in true Sanntangle form, you're not gonna get the exact shape, but I'm going to give you a hand with it. I give you what you need, and then you create the sails. You are the artist, not me. I'm just giving you the structure. You know, like the ruler, you drew in a straight line.
Yeah.
With this one, it's about I'm giving you that straight line or that curve where you need it to get the proportions, and then you're doing it. Okay? That's what you get for your shit.
I mean, come on, it's like there already, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. So let's put a little curl on the end here. So you see I'm putting like an extra little bit, and I'm going to curl around the edge, so you've got that kind of bit of a 3-dimensional roll going on there. Just a curl, okay? So we've got this shape already coming in. Let's join that and join that. I'm going to bring a little line down here, and then here, again, I'm sort of skipping steps. We could put the panels in for our ship or our galleon there, okay? But we want to see the sails, don't we? Before we do that, I need to bring a little bit of a shape here, because you can't just have the sails and no kind of shape to work to. So let's bring that in here. So you see you've got the top edge, and then you've got the little sort of captain's cabin there fitting in, a couple of little windows. So I am what is now known as speed tangling. So okay, so you've got a little line there that brings it to here. So you've got like a little handrail. We don't want anybody falling, you know, doing the Titanic thing, do we?
No, don't want any. Was it man overboard?
So that's basically, so this would, you know, you could make this into bits of wood, all sorts of things there, but we want to see this bit. Okay, so we've got everything in there. So let's take this first one here. This is our sort of main mast. So you're going to at some point have a little bit of a flag on there. So I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to draw a line here and a line here. Now you see the thing is about this is you've got the shapes and the proportion, but it depends on how you draw these curves as to how you get your sails into there. So this one, I'm going to go into here. So I've got some bits that I can actually move about if I want to, but if you want to sort of keep them separate, I can bring them about into there. Or I can bring another one in. Let's have a look. Got that one going on there, going on there. So that kind of gives me that shape. And if I bring in my little pole there, okay, I am actually going to bring in an extra set there. So you see, just about mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah. Like you say, so you get the guidelines, don't you? And then if you feel that you want to add a little bit more or change it slightly, then you've got the option to do that.
And then the decorating, let's put another little mast in there holding them. Yeah, I mean the idea is if you've never done it, follow the instructions.
Yes.
So you can see how you're going, but you can see there, look, I've started to add extra little bits in there. And then of course bringing in curls for the water.
It was Helen who drew this. She says, I've drawn the galleon from this set and I was so proud. My brother loved the card, and when I gave it to him last year, it's still on display.
Oh, see, that's exactly what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course we've got that little sort of circle there that's going to give us our little shapes along here. So very quick rendition, because I know we've got a lot to go through, but that sort of gives you a little bit of an idea, yeah? Within 5 minutes. Take your time with it. Don't do it that quick. Take your time with it.
That's included in the Back to Class 2 stencil and booklet. You've got that storybook. You've got the Fabergé egg in there as well. Really have to get this. I'm so excited, says May, Willa Voice. And Laura says this looks like it is a relaxing and forgiving drawing technique. As Sandra was saying, you know, worst case, you make a mistake with your pencil, you've got your eraser So you can then
Rub
just
it out. It's
rub
just
it
a
out.
picture. It's just a piece of paper.
Do you use a specific eraser, Chantel asks?
No, any that works. It's down to preference. I like a nice soft rubber, and I know people that know me laugh at me because I mean my rubber at the moment is intact.
Right.
What I do tend to do with my pencil rubbers is I cut pieces off. So you know, if you want to get into a real small place, I've got a nice sort of sharp bit that I can use. So you know, it's just a very basic rubber. But yeah, it's not going to be intact for much longer. I do cut bits off it. So. Yeah, and then lose them.
Love, Sanntangle says Clarice, I have a whole shelf dedicated just for Sandra's products.
Oh, thank you.
And also, it's loads coming in. Hi, Sandra and Ben, says Leslie. I love doing this dragon stencil. And Deborah Smith says, HQ weekends are great. We do work hard, but projects are amazing. Elizabeth is saying she loves that dragon and Faye says, I have several of the stencil kits that Sandra brought to CTV before. I drew a dragon that my grandson couldn't believe. I was the one that drew it.
I remember that one, the dragon.
We're going to have a look at the affirmation sets now because we had quite a few questions about these earlier on, Sandra, in Wake Up Call. So there's 2 sets here, isn't there, that we can go for?
Yeah, there's 2 different things because there's a book and a stencil, and this sort of like tones it down a little bit because if you like the idea of drawing but you find it very mindful and very sort of relaxing, what I've actually done here is I've got a book. Now I say a book. Ignore mine because mine's got a slightly different coiling to yours because I've got a folder to put mine in, if that makes sense. But what I've done here is this gives you, let me just sort of return back a little bit. When I first started out, when I left my full-time job and I was a little bit down, to say the least, somebody said to me, you need to write morning pages. And I was like, what on earth are they? I had no idea. And I had a blank sketchbook, a little pad, and I thought, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be writing. Yeah. And as the sort of the story goes on, affirmations are something that helped me a lot, and it helped me sort of just by reading them out to myself. It meant that I could sort of like feel a little bit better. But then actually adding patterns and decorating around the words means you're focusing on the words, but then you're also doing your own little bits and pieces. So let's have a little look inside, and this is what it sort of gives us. It tells you about this book, and it does come from my own personal use. So I think it's really nice to know that because it works for me. And within here, I've not left you alone again. I'm giving you instructions for how you can create one of the pages that's within the book. So get step by step as it goes along. It tells you, how you do it, all the different patterns you can use. This is actually one of my pages I've actually stamped something on. But then within here, you've got this one. It just said, I believe in myself. But you can see what I've actually done, because I've given you a stencil along the lines to go with it. I've used this shape to help me draw a frame, because just having a page with a few words on doesn't always give you enough. So, for example, this one, the past is the past, and my past doesn't predict my future.
I love that.
Saying that to yourself a couple of times in the morning, and then you can actually fold the book over and you could start to add patterns around it. You could use the frames as well if you want to. Today I'm going to have a great day. So you see they're in different fonts and different things. So look here, I've actually added a stamp and drawn some little butterflies. So I haven't got samples of this because, of course, these books become very personal. So it's about, you doing whatever you want to do. But I've got a lovely one here that I've been working on.
I think anyone who loves their journaling as well will absolutely fall in love with this one, won't they?
Absolutely, because, and I've left these pages blank so you can add your own bits in, and then you can add your own patterns. And I see here, look, I've started one. So I've got my frame, I've drawn around it, I've added a few little bubbles, and then here, look, I'm capable of overcoming anything. So I've put some things here, look like my expectations, what other people think, negativity, anxiety, my mental health, all that kind of thing, all references. So it started to become my journal. Yeah. And then at the back, again, let's have a look. I've done a little bit of stamping there, a little bit of inking. This is the one that I've actually given you the instructions for. But what I've done here is I've actually given you one that's already sort of decorated. Mm-hmm. So I've given you some ideas. So this is what you can do. So this one is in the book, but it's just the words, and I've decorated around it. Same with this one. So you could colour this in, and then, of course, you could take inspiration from that. Same with this one. Same with this one. And then at the back here, I've given you some patterns and some ideas that I've used in my artwork that you can have a go at. So let's just have a look. For example, let's look at this. See this sort of design here? If I come back to this one, you see it's here, it's all round.
Yeah.
So I could pick up my pen and I could add to that if I wanted to. So let's sort of put one in here. Let's put one in there. So there's my bubble, look. And then I've got loops. We've done quite a bit on loops today already, haven't we? So I can bring the loops in there. See, it's going to go behind that one. Because I've used this pen to draw with, it's all going to kind of work in together. So it's going to fit in. And then if you think, oh, do you know what, today I just feel like colouring, or I just feel like drawing a bit, you can do that. So the artwork becomes your artwork and not mine. Look at that in the middle there.
Cute. But
then looking at my shapes, I think, well, okay, let's go back to the one I've been doing a bit of work on. Here we go. Look at that one. I'm capable of overcoming anything. So let's bring, you think, oh, I don't really know what to do. So let's bring a shape in. I'm going to bring in one of those sort of rectangular pieces. So I can put that in there to that one. So rather than think I've got to draw something from scratch, I don't have to. I can just split up a little space.
Yeah.
And then I can bring that little flower in that I've just done. And I can work it in here as well. So sometimes you think, I just don't want to do anything. I just want to doodle a little bit. You see, that sort of falls off the pen, doesn't it, after a while?
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? The more that you do it, the more sort of creative and confident you get with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm going in with a pen and I'm not having a problem here. You know, you might want to slow down a little bit. So that's the book format, and that's what you can sort of, I think you can get it on your own, and it comes in with the bundle as well. But it just means you can fill it up as you see fit and as you're ready. But it does come with the Affirmation Stencil. Now, I'm super excited about this one. Let me show you this. Reason being is, you look at that, it's a beautiful picture, but you've got this shape in here. Yeah, okay, I'll come to that in a minute. And again, you've got this beautiful picture, but again, you see you've got this shape in here. Mm-hmm. And this one, you see the shape in there. So if I just move that to one side for a moment, let's come to the stencil itself.
So just to say, so I can understand. So you can either get this on its own, you can get the coil book on its own, or you can get the whole the bundle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Got you.
So if I sort of show you the instructions, this symbol here represents unconditionally. So you could actually create this piece of art and have the kind of symbol for unconditional within your artwork.
Yes.
And then if I move to the next one, this shape here, so if I bring this one in, this is all about new beginnings. So it could be something that you put in your artwork, it could be anywhere, but it's not saying new beginnings, it's just like a little bit of a hidden message. And then the last one, you've got 3 good pieces in this. So this is almost like 3 class projects. This symbol is about honesty. So imagine sending this to a friend, you know, that you want to sort of cheer up or something, having that little symbol inside. But if I just find that piece of artwork again, there it is. So it looks just like a beautiful swirl within the piece, but this actually does mean honesty.
It's incredible, like
it's
how
just
you're
so beautiful how it works, isn't
weaving
it?
them into the designs.
So it just sort of goes together. So I mean, which one would you like me to show? Shall I show you that one? Shall I show you the honesty? Okay, here we go. So I might not get all of it. So smaller piece of paper. I'm going to switch to pencil. Let's come in again. I'm going to put myself a little. There we go. Little cross. So I've got something to work to. Okay. And then within there it says, look, mark the centre of your page, which I've already done automatically. So to the right and at a slight angle, draw in shape 2. So let's have a look. Shape 2, here we are. So I'm looking at the picture and it's saying sort of here, I'm going to put in that little bit there. So let's put that in. Okay, little rectangle. And then from here, it's kind of, when I say freehand, but I've given you a shape to work to. So I've not said just draw a loop. I want a certain size loop. So there's my sort of my middle. And I'm going to put myself a loop in. So I can take as long as I like, curve it round. Even with having a shape, you're all going to draw a slightly different loop.
Yes.
But that doesn't matter. Okay? And then from there it says, right, I want another loop coming out here. So it's about half the size. There it is, but it's not quite touching there, it's coming up there. And then I'm going to come out and round and draw a curl, but my curl sort of sits there.
Yeah.
So now I've done that in pencil, you can look at it and think, well, actually, that's not very sort of curved. So you can come back in, look, and you can amend it. All right, getting that crazy rubber out again, look.
So handy.
There it is. Get rid of those bits. So I can then shape the curves. I think it's always easier to shape something when you've got it on the page, rather than try and work it out and do it perfect first time. Okay, so there it is. There's my basic shape. So from there, I'm going to double up the lines. So I'll come in with pen. So I'm going to start with, let's have a look at this one here. So if I draw that line in, again, I'm doing this very quickly. You would take your time. So I'm choosing how thick I want this line to be. If you wanted it really thin, you could thin it out a little bit, skim it up, but it's sort of about me choosing. Okay, so that's doubled up there, see? And now I'm going to sort of come underneath there, and it's going to come around here. I could square off the end, I could curve it. Your decision. I think that's the thing. And when we talk about Sanntangle, it isn't just about drawing what you see in the instructions. You're making the decisions. You're becoming the artist.
Yeah.
You're just kind of following my little bits.
And it's great to see comments coming through just as we're watching you here from the likes of Pat, who says, this is the first time I'm seeing Sandra and Sanntangle. I like the idea of using stencils to make your own designs. I cannot draw, so this is very inspiring for me.
Oh, well, I hope you give it a go. I mean, there's so many different stencils on today.
Yeah.
I think my advice would be, if you've never done it, the starter set's brilliant. But do you know, if you want to try one, if you think, oh, I really like that dragon, or I really like those shoes, or that star, choose the stencil you like the look of, because you're far more likely to keep with it and just go. And you just get yourself a little piece of paper and a pencil and sketch it.
Yeah.
Sketch something out. Nobody needs to see it. It's all about you having a bit of fun. Look, there's my symbol.
I think that's with craft in general, isn't it? It's not a competition. You're not entering it, you know, try and win a prize. It should be an enjoyable process. And this, certainly, if you're watching and enjoying the show, you're going to enjoy doing the process yourself.
Absolutely. Now, see here, I'm bringing in a little triangle shape there because, of course, oh, if I could draw through a triangle around this way. It's about proportion, so I want you to have this size. Having said that, if you think, well, actually, I want to do something and make it smaller, then you can draw a triangle, make it smaller. What I'm going to do here, let's see, I'm slightly curving it, and then I'm going to bring loops again. There's a bit of a theme, isn't there, recurring here, so I'm going to sort of go up a little bit, and then go up a little bit, up a little bit more. And then here, let's bring out some little lines and put a little bobble kind of shape on the top, look. And it doesn't matter if these are all slightly different, they're all facing different ways. This is why I do it in pencil, because of course some of this I'd be like rubbing out in a little bit, but there is our shape, little flower there, gives us that. So you see, look, there it is.
Yeah.
And then moving over. So we're then into more of those flowers, but then again, I've given you some little rectangles to draw the next shape in. So let's just go with that. It's going to be that kind of shape. So it's a little bit loop-like, but you see it's curved at the top. And then I'm going to do another one this side that's going underneath. And then little triangle on the top. And let's join it back to the shape. Bring it round there. So that's going underneath. You see how it starts to sort of formulate. Butterfly in there, getting a stencil, but let's just do a couple of little loops. I love doing loopy leaves. They feel really nice to draw. So you can make them really long and thin. And then little shape, let's have a look. Bring out a little shape.
Pat's just asking about the pencil that you've been using, or I originally thought they were the fine liner pens from CC, so it is a fine line pen, isn't it?
It is. It's a mechanical pencil. We don't have any on the show today, but maybe I'll bring them. It is, this is my.
But in the kit you get
my little baby.
2B,
you get a 2B, which is this one, and the reason why I've given you this one is because let me just rub out those bits there. So you've got your little flower. this one is the perfect sort of softness. Let's put a little bit in, like so. Let's do a little bit there. A little bit round there. To use with your tortillon. Bringing it round to there. You see how just sort of soften it with that tortillon is going to give you that dimension. And that's why you've got a 2B pencil. A HB, it'd still move, but it wouldn't quite give you you wanted. So bring you that one back in, you can see now how that flower's been created.
Absolutely, yeah. And
then there's one of your little sort of tulipy ones. And of course you've got your lovely symbol for honesty in there as well.
So inspiring. Just to ask, there was a question from, who was it? Brenda. Sandra mentioned earlier cartridge paper.
Yes.
What's that?
It's one of those papers that's not perfectly smooth. It's got a little bit of a pit to it. So if you scratch along it, you sort of feel that it's got little bumps in it. It's 270 GSM. So it's not watercolour. Watercolour's a lot more pitted, and you've got those like little dips in that you're going to get your water and your colour in. This is going to give you a little bit of tooth on there, just enough to sort of allow you to use your blender. I say in the US, I know with HSN last year, it was a little bit, where is cartridge, how do you get it? I know it can be a little bit tricky to get hold of, which is why I put some in your starter kit. But there's a paper, or there's a paper pad I found out in America called Canson. Canson. And they're not 270 GSM, but you've got the same kind of feel on that paper that's going to give you that sort of little slightly textured.
I'm wondering then if our premium marker paper might work for that we use for our colour blend pencils.
Quite possible, yeah.
Okay.
So it's that kind of thing, absolutely. My advice is to try it. You don't want to use something that's really sort of throwing in a printer.
Yeah.
You don't want to be using that. You want something that's got a little bit of something to it, and it feels nice to work on, because you're going to spend time doing art. And if you've got a really nasty piece of paper and it doesn't quite blend right, you're not going to get the results. So I'd rather use something that you're comfortable with, it feels nice to work on, and you're going to get a far better result, and it's going to work for you.
I'll read a few more comments in just a second, and we'll give you time to check out, because I feel like a lot of people are mesmerised. A lot of people are Sister B4 says, I thought colouring was relaxing. This is the next level. If you want both, you can get the Affirmation Symbols and Art set 1 with the coil book and the stencils. So that's the bundle if you want all of what Sandra's just been working with. They're £37 or $50. You can split those and get those as individual deals should you wish to be able to do that. It is all there for you on the shop today. Tracy says, Sandra is so calming and relaxing to watch. I would definitely get a black pencil and the black pen mixed up. Such a natural at this, she says. Chantal's just asking quickly, where do those symbols come from, she's asked?
Do you know, they come from all over the world, and all different sort of races, religions, countries. And it's a case that I've looked for quite a while, and I've collated lots of them together. And added them all in sort of one piece. So yeah, they're readily available. They're all out there, and they're all slightly different. And I'm sure you can find something that works for you. And of course, if it means that you want something like love or gratitude, you can put that in. You can still use the stencil all around it to create those beautiful pieces of art, but just have that slightly different meaning in there. So absolutely, and that's where it is. They're not made up. They are actually out there. So have a look for them.
I've got some questions coming through, which we'll do in just a few moments' time, but we do want to give you opportunity to get your baskets checked out. So have a look now, see if there's anything else you want us to show you in the second hour of the show. But in the meantime, items that you have got in your cart, get those checked out, and we'll come back in about 4 minutes' time.
I'm here because I do love Crafter's Companion products and Crafter's TV.
Your products are great, made with great care and thought, and are second to none.
Love all the products. I love the tutorials we get.
Your papers shimmer and make all our crafts shine.
I love all of the products and all of the paper pads, of course.
I love Crafter's TV because it shows you the best tips and tricks on how to use your crafty stash.
The quality of the products are phenomenal. Value for money is exceptional.
Amazing presenters, craft goods galore, launch days and craft vaults, deals bundles and more.
Your pens, pencils, and markers make all crafters say, they are mine.
or I love Crafter's Companion? Well, it's because I'm not a very good crafter, and Crafter's Companion makes me look better.
Missed your favourite Crafters TV shows this week? Feel like you've missed out on the best crafting deals? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Join us for Second Chance Sunday, your ultimate catch-up on the top 10 deals, demos and must-see moments from the past week. From incredible discounts to inspiring crafting, this is your second chance to grab the best of the best. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Tune in to Second Chance Sunday, only on Crafters TV. Because every crafter deserves a second chance. You do know this isn't a real door, don't you?
Hi, it's Julesy One Kenobi here with my hoodie on. I just thought I'd let you know another reason why I absolutely love Crafters TV. The laughter and the giggles and the dressing up and the jokes. But the one thing for me that absolutely made me laugh so much I cried was the birthday week Vegas dressing up, where Ben was Belvis Mesley. And I just couldn't stop laughing because of the wig. The wig just did it for me, and I just absolutely couldn't stop laughing every time it came on. And that's another reason why I just love Crafters TV.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty program today and receive 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits to joining Club Inspire include special members-only sales, and you can receive discounts or exclusive access to products, and even free gifts. You will receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro that you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. See if you can craft your way up to our ultimate Club Inspire tier, Platinum, where you'll enjoy the very best discounts and rewards that we offer. As you keep climbing through the club, you can actually reach Platinum Plus and even Platinum for life. The more points you collect, the more you will be rewarded within our amazing special Club Inspire community. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for checking out your carts and your baskets. Yes, definitely. I think, as far as craft is concerned, I think probably your best bet would be the pencil pad. Try that first. And Shadiat says, Ben, can you ask Sandra, what are her latest products on the show? I don't want to buy what I already have. I think previously when you were on, she bought a lot. This is all different to when you've been on before, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yes. I think a lot of these that are on now won't have been available when I was last here. We've done so many stencils and different things now. There's so much, but no, I think these are the last 12 months of bits and pieces that I've done. I'm just looking around now. I think when I say oldest, my oldest product is possibly Locket Lane and the Secret Keyhole, but everything else, I'm trying to think now, everything else is pretty new. So I do apologise. A lot of my team out there, they'll write a list, so you know, but I do apologise for that. But yeah, they're all pretty new, apart from those two.
Yeah, exactly. And if you, the only time you shop is when Sandra is here. It's been a couple of years, so yeah, it's all new to us here. Keep the comments coming through. Anything you want to see in this next hour, feel free to do so. And what's he doing there?
It's after your job.
like brothers, aren't we? Look, purple waistcoat together, eh? I just need the hat. There you go. See, look at that.
Dobby made that hat.
Yeah, well, just now. Yeah. Same ears, did you just say, Johnny?
Dobby's offended.
Just before we have a look at the written in the stars, can you just...
Shall I just go away and come back and say sorry?
No, it's fine. I get worse here, Sandra, if I'm being honest. I get worse. For your US customers again, just asking about the name of that paper you said, if they want to look for it.
Canson. C-A-N-S-O-N.
Okay, thank you. One of the most popular collections that we've done today, alongside that starter bundle, is this next one that we showed in Wake Up Call, the Written in the Stars stencil and background set. £30, $40. This is beautiful. We'll look through it with Sandra, but if you love all things solar systems, if you like, and also your star signs, then you're going to absolutely love this. I was so intrigued when we opened this up earlier on to see all the little mini symbols that you've got for all of the star signs. And, and in its simplest form, you can create those, but then you've got all the constellations in here as well, haven't you?
Absolutely. So many different bits and pieces in there. It's kind of about you drawing something that's creative and follow the instructions, but then personalise it with different star signs and symbols and the zodiacs. Or you can leave that out completely and just do a star or just do a moon. It depends what you want to do. If you're doing, say, a card for somebody you want it really quick, you could do the moon and maybe have the zodiac hanging from the moon. Or if you want to do something a little bit bigger, you've got like lovely pieces of A4 artwork in here as well. They're just fun. These are so much fun that you can play with them. Of course, background stencils in there as well means you can make the whole piece and have the background sort of detailed or to match as well. So, a really nice bundle.
25% of the stock has gone. We'll look through some finished samples with Sandra in just a second, but of course you get your booklet there, and again, all step-by-step instructions for you, written instructions, all pictorials in there for you, so hopefully it makes the journey nice and simple for you, nice and easy for you. Again, if you are one of those many people who go, well, I can't draw, there's no way I can do this, you can, because you can see just how this is broken up into small, manageable chunks for you. You take your time with this, and very, very quickly you will be making projects and creating projects like the ones that Sandra's going to show you in just a few moments' time. 3 stencils you're going to get as well. We saw this one, actually I say we saw this one in action, we saw all these stencils in action early this morning. This one's really interesting as well, because obviously, you know, fairly obviously there you've got a load of stars. This one you might kind of wonder to yourself, well, what's that? That's the constellations, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. So it can be just a background and it could look almost like stars in the distance.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you can pick out the constellations. And same with the little stars. You can use it as a background, you pick out a few, or you can actually use it as part of the artwork and draw around the shapes if you want to. Yeah,
and same again here. So you've got those separate constellations. I think you've got some finished samples there.
I have,
this amazing what you can do here, and this star as well you're going to be using a lot, aren't you?
You are, absolutely, yeah. And yeah, I wanted to create something because there's so many sort of crafty things out there that have got to do with the stars and the space and constellations. I've come up with hopefully something a little bit different for you that you can play with. So this one, I mean, this is all the little star symbols, but having these little extra shapes on the top, it just makes it a little bit unique. So you could actually mix this in with other crafts that you were doing. You know, if you've got a little bit of space on the border, you could put some personal bits and pieces in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here, look, you've got your sun, your moon, your eclipse, your sun, your moon. And then having this at the side really brings it to. You've got your little stars there, but of course, I've got a little star folded there. You've got these little sort of constellations in the background, so it can look like stars or constellations. And then here, oh, look at this. I mean, your little circle with all of your little zodiacs around. Personalise it in the middle with the constellation. And that's all about being positive. It's lovely, isn't it? And then this one, I love. Again, it's the sort of the sun and the moons, but that looks just like a marble, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Lovely is that. And then all your little droplets and everything. You could go to town with them. We did do a bit of a demo on this earlier. I should show you how that one works.
Hocus pocus.
There's a little bit of colouring in there as well, and it just makes something a bit different, doesn't it? Then, of course, there's our little moons. Almost looks like a bit of a fighter plane as well, doesn't it?
It does look a little bit like Star Wars, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do like my Star Wars. But again, you've got these lovely sort of droplets and the constellations I picked out in the background. And then this shows you all the different, all the little constellations and your symbols. It's just nice to do that so you can kind of pick them out. And then, I mean, your artwork. I mean, this is a decent sized piece of art. So you've got all 3 in together, looking a little bit different. And of course, you've got those in the background, those little stars and dots. Look, I've even done one of those symbols on a little bit of wood
Oh,
there.
that's cute.
So it means you can, you can bring it out a little bit. So shall we do it? Do you want me to draw
Yeah,
one?
let's
Shall
do
we do
it.
it? I've got to find the stencil now. What have I done with it? Ah, here it is. I am organised. It's almost like my own craft room at home now, though. So everything's
It's very
everywhere.
organised compared to what it's normally like over that side, I tell you.
So, okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to do the star, I think. That's quite a nice one to do because I've mixed it up a little bit. I'll use my B pencil so you can kind of see it because I know my mechanical same colour as my pencil. Right, okay, so I'm going to draw around the outside of this one. Now, at the moment, they're sort of concentric, aren't they? So you can put the centre in. So you can sort of draw all three and you can get a really nice frame. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it slightly to the left. And then I'm going to draw in the next one down.
Okay.
Again, it just sort of changes things up a little bit. There it is. So there it is. So you see it's selected on one side. I'm not going to do the sun and the moon together. I'm just going to do this one so you can kind of see what I'm doing with it. So there we go. What I would do next, and I would do this in pen. Certain things when you start adding patterns, you'll lose the will to live if you've got to go back over it in pencil. You don't want to be doing that. So what I'm going to start with is a loop. Again, loops are playing a lot of attention to it, little loop. And then what I'm going to do, move my paper, and I'm going to create these little loops all the way around. Now if you think, oh, I could never get that, draw loops first, like the little crosses, look, like that, all the way around, and then join them together. Who'd know that you were going to do it? Yeah, who would know? So let's do a little bit of this. And then as I sort of follow it around, I'm sort of following the shape. So they're all going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you say, it's almost nice that there's not uniformity to this and it's not exact, you know.
Yeah, and there's nothing saying you have to use a black pen. You can use whatever colour you like. You can use a gel pen, a glitter pen. I'll just sort of do half of it so you get the idea. See, it's sort of changing size. There you go. Look at that as you're going round. So that'd be the first bit. So then I'm going to come in, and again, I could use, let's put the lid on, or else I'll lose it. Let's join the lines. So look, point to inner. So valley to peak. Valley to peak. Okay, oh, that one there, look. So I've got that kind of a shape going on. All right, so joined it in. Then in the middle here, of each of those lines, I'm going to put a bubble.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to miss one, I'm going to do it. So it's like in the middle of each of the diamond shapes, like so. Into there. And then I'm going to take this first one here, I'm going to go round my bubble, come to the bottom, round my bubble to the top, that way, and that way. So if I do that on all of them, now once I've decided which way round I'm going, so I could have done that way. I know some people like that right-handed might think, oh, it's a bit weird. Do it that way. Doesn't matter. But once you've decided which way, then stick with it.
30% of this has gone, and I know Shadia's just told me she's bought this alongside the Affirmation bundle, so that's the 2 bundles for Shadia. That's a lovely set you've got there. Well done.
Oh yeah, it's just the artwork's really pretty, and because it's got that little hidden meaning in it, just makes the difference. You see my shape I've got going on
now. It's like a pinwheel effect you've created there, isn't it?
So if I just quickly put that in so you can sort of see that one there. So I want to rub a little bit out in a minute, see, and I can't if I've not done that in pen first. There we go. So I've got that little pinwheel, so let's just rub that bit out. Okay. You see, it's sort of giving me different shapes now. Ooh. So I'm working along the stencil, look, and now see here, step 14, it's all about a little bit of detail in there. So what I can do is I'm going to bring a line this side, and a little V in there. And I'm going to systematically work my way around the middle bit first and do all of those. Same with that one. Remember, this is just the star within this particular piece. It's got the moon and the sun as well, so it's entirely up to you. If you just wanted to do the star and then bring others in afterwards, you see how that kind of works? And then this one here is going to go that way. So if you do the middle bit first, you kind of get the idea of the pattern, and then you can come on in and start to put these extra little bits in.
The ruler is not available.
It is. There's so many things I could have brought with me,
yeah.
but
Get them back in next time.
Yeah, so it's been kind of a little bit of a, let's try a few stencils and things today. Let's give you a little bit of something different. But, I couldn't carry everything. See how that works. But bringing in, we talked about the little stars and things like that. So what I could do is say, right, okay, once I'd done all of my piece, draw my little line, and then I could take one of these shapes because I've got stars on my other piece, but I might want to do something a little bit smaller. So let's put that little star in there. And then just to neaten that up a bit, I put little dots on. So again, this is something completely different. It's not the same as the instructions in any format, but it just shows you that you can mix things around a little bit. So again, little dots, like so. And then in the background, let's have a look. So if we go back to the beginning of my book, here we are. So I'm a Capricorn, so number 10 there. Okay, so here it is. Let's bring this in down this bottom edge. So, okay, how do we do this? Now, the nice thing with this, if you want to keep them as an outline and glitter, you can. But if you're going to fill it in while it's in the stencil, because you're going to get a nice, neat finish. Here we go. Again, you could have the larger dots as a different colour. It's entirely what you want to do with it. Okay. That's quite satisfying, actually, just colouring it in like that. Just stick colour. Yeah. There you go. So you've got your dots. But then from here, we look at our picture, we go, right, okay, that one joins to that one, joins to that one. Then I've got, this one goes up there, goes there. That one goes up there, that one goes down there. That one joins. I used to love dot to dot as a kid. That one, look at that. Yeah. There you go. That's so good. Capricorn. Yeah. So working with this, of course, once you bring a little bit of pencil in, I say, I'm working very quickly. So if I do a little bit in there, like so, a little bit of a tortillon in, and you start to get your dimension. I'll bring the original in so you can see how it sort of fits in with that. Look very at that, busy for shading. This. 40% now gone of this collection, Sandra. But then if I bring this in, because you'll see that pattern when it's finished. There it is. So you see, look, there's the lines, there's the little V's that I've filled in. Pencil shading either side. Yeah. And look at the loops. Yeah. Filled in around the edge. And then, of course, you've got your little droplets with your little star shapes on. Lovely, isn't it? From that to that. I almost feel like all of these should be like home decor pieces. Like they're almost too good to be on the front of cards, aren't they? Yeah, but do you know, I think that the idea of giving somebody a card that you've drawn. Yeah. I think it means more because you've actually spent the time doing it. But then again, you've had the pleasure of sitting drawing it, and then you get the pleasure of giving it. The person having it gets the pleasure of having it, and you get the pleasure of them thinking you're wonderful because you've drawn something for them. Absolutely. It's a win-win all the time, isn't it? Yeah, and like people have been saying, if you are giving them as cards, they're the kind of cards that people are going to, keep popping their memory boxes, those kind of things. Even just saying I could sit and watch Sandra for hours. Still here for another 45, so if you've got any questions, anything that you want to see, please feel free to ask. Melanie D says, I've just ordered the Affirmation Stencil and the Secret Keyhole collection. Cannot wait for those to arrive. If you want them written in the stars, over 40% of the stock now gone with that booklet, and all of your templates and stencils included in there as well. £30 or $40 is the price on that. It should be $33.85 or $44.95. Brenda Monroe says, written in the stars, yes please. And Mary Kay Knoll says, I've just checked out. I thought I'd better check out before I spend my budget for the next 3 months. It's one of those shows, isn't it, like where you could be like really tempted to buy everything on it because all the products are amazing. And just generally lots of lovely comments coming through. Tracy saying, I like that stencil. And Jane says, I'm sandtangling along, but using the time for a brew. Oh, nice, nice. Forgotten how much I love this. I want the Secret Keyhole collection now. I first Sanntangled at the Evesham store with Suzanne.
talking about the keyhole collection, the secret keyhole, we can have a look at that now actually. Proved popular earlier on. £38 or $52 is the price on this. So again, you can see that the saving that you're making buying this with us today. Not huge stocks, and again, another one of the popular collections. And there's a bit of a story with this one, isn't there? Quarter of the stock, Bob, a bit of a story.
Yes, there is. It started with the secret keyhole, and we've got this lovely little mouse looking through a keyhole, thinking, what could possibly be beyond that keyhole? So it sort of started there, and this little mouse looked through and thought, oh, do you know what, there's lots of different worlds. So it could be a town, it could be a village, it could be purely just, I don't know, a load of roses in a rose garden. It could be absolutely anything. So looking at our little samples here, this is our little mouse. And then the little mouse is a little bit of a memory from childhood.
Yeah.
When you used to have the little sugar mice. Little was it like a little bit of string for the tail, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that they used to sort of build it up on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This one's looking through to quite a different world there. Who lives there? But it's quite dark and dusky there, where you've also got little townhouses with the little flowers. Now, if you look at these, you might recognise them from the little starter set where we've done the Japanese blossom.
Mm-hmm.
So everything kind of fits in together. This one's got a bit of a party going on. And of course, you could go a bit bigger. You've got two sizes. But what happens if you go through the keyhole into Locket Lane?
This is it.
So let me just, actually, before I show you all the samples, I want to sort of bring in the booklet here, because let's sort of have a look to start with. It gives you a little bit of an information about the secret behind the locket. So you get to be able to draw the locket as well, you see, following it through as normal. So no one knows where the locket came from other than it was behind the plot for number 14. Just beside the well that still resides there. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it's in there, it's telling you. And then number 3, Locket Lane. The beginning of the lane, this wonderful picket fenced house is a cosy home perfect for a couple who enjoy the garden and love to experiment with new plant life. So then we work our way through into number 7, Locket Lane, a slightly larger dwelling with its own grounds, perfect climate for growing exotic mushrooms. Yeah, I'm not telling you any more about that, but you can make your own stories. You see how it grows. Look at this. You recognise the tree from the demo earlier. There we've got it in a similar format. And then you get number 27. We talked about this, about three families or 3 sisters have their own space but close together so they can meet each other in the evenings and picnic on the lawn.
Just far enough apart though.
Just far enough apart. But look, the little mouse, how to draw the mouse, how to draw these roses. And then look, number 14. Follow the driveway through the meadow garden and beyond the pathway. Look up to the trees and what a sight. This well-placed house with views over the whole of the lane is quite the contemporary modern living space. The back garden goes on, quite chilly but full of mystery and legend, where the famous locket was once found.
Ooh.
Number 29, which is the house at the end of the large manor house.
That was my house.
But, yeah. See, you're already moving in, aren't you? You're already moving in. There it is, look. And that takes you through. So you've got a load, look at the stencil.
Yes.
You can start to see the houses now, can't you? So if I show you the samples, there's our little exotic mushroom house. There is our little pumpkin house. There is the locket. Different ways of seeing the locket there.
Yeah.
There's the little dwelling. Families, sisters living together there. Of different versions, so you can start to go into your own little world with these. There's another version. Look at these roses. And then, of course, there's our pumpkin house again. So you can look at this one compared to this. So by me giving you the stencils and the shapes, you can draw something a bit different. Do you want to draw one?
Yeah, come on.
What do we do? Which one do you want to draw?
Oh, do we get to choose?
You get to choose.
Well, was it 29 I said I wanted to go and live in?
Oh, the manor.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Oh, where have I put that? Hang on. There it is. Let's do the manor house. Here we go.
Nice.
So, doesn't matter. You don't have to start at the beginning. Number 29, Locket Lane. Okay, the house. This first shape should be placed about 2/3 of the way up the paper. So let's go with. Yeah, we can do this. 2/3 up the paper. Okay. This is draw shape 38.
Okay.
So we look for shape 38. There it is. Okay. So let's have a look at this. 38. In we go with it. Now what I am going to do is put my vertical in now. We know it's always sort of worthwhile having something to work to. 38. Okay, then it says vertical line, which I've done. Mark a centre line and roof shape space 39 with 58 underneath it. So here we go. 39. So this is putting a window in the roof space. So you see, I can line up the point with that vertical, and in it goes. And then I want a large window, so number 58. That's going to sit underneath it. Again, I'm using the point slightly overlapping there, but in we go. So that gives me that shape. Okay. So then looking at, this is literally step 2. Step 3, I've got my verticals down here. That gives me kind of the outside of the building to go with. You see, always look, I'm lining my stencil up with the edge of my paper.
Yeah.
So I know that when I draw a line, it's vertical. It's not going to be like an angle. So that starts me off. We've got a huge window there. Then it says number 47 and 9 around it. So 47 and number 9. Yeah, so I could actually put number 9 in first. Yeah, I wrote the rules. Don't matter. Yeah. Do what I like.
You do, you.
Do what you want. And it's going to be your house. Do what you want. If you don't want this window in, you don't have to have that window in. You do another. There you go. Okay, so you can see it's kind of building the house up, isn't it? So from there, I've got a little bit of a photograph then, because I wanted you to see exactly how I put the stencil on the paper. There's number 52. So let's have a look. Number 52, here it is. Slightly curved. So here we go. I'm going to come in. I'm just going to do one side so you can sort of see it. And it sort of sits over here. Let's have a look. It's going to slightly touch there, and it's going to come around here. You see? Just like, oh, I've lost my paper.
Oh.
It fell.
Pulled it off with the stencil. There you go.
Panic over. There we are. It's like I planned it. So this curve, I could turn my stencil around and reproduce this curve, or you could kind of bring it in freehand. So you see what you're starting to get now is a little bit of a shape. Let's put a curve in. So it's sort of like an extension coming off. Yeah. Let's do that. And then I'm going to see this line. I'm going to bring another one in there. So it looks like it's 3D. But I want a bit of a ledge because, again, we don't want anybody falling out this window, do we?
Almost like a balcony, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep it safe. There we go. So we do that on both sides. Of course, then it needs something to sort of hold it to the ground. So I'm going to bring in this number here. I've got 2, look. Actually, let's use this one, number 34. And that's going to give me the little sort of pillar there. I can sort of put this one in. Then I need a doorway. So let's have a look. This is telling me, see, this is a nice thing because you can see how it's working. And then you think, right, okay, I've got this doorway, number 12. What does it tell me? Shape 23. And a front door shape's 37 and 21. So I could use those, or I could look on this and think, do you know what? I like this shape, or I like this shape.
Yeah.
So you can start to create, and I think that comes reasonably quickly.
Yeah, the more confidence you get with it, like you said, I think you'll start doing your own thing a little bit more.
Absolutely. So you can sort of, let's put that line in now. We know where the bottom is. And let's bring the doorway in. See, that looks, I'm going to go with a bigger door. I think it needs a bigger door.
And big grand entrance, yeah.
Yeah, then we can put that one inside it like so. And then we want a little, let's have one of the little keyholes.
Okay.
To one of the sides there.
I love that, even down to the detail of the little keyhole there as well. Look at that.
Yeah, and of course we'd have these on both sides.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring a window in.
It's almost looking a little bit space aged at this point.
It does. I'd say it's a very modern contemporary house.
Yeah.
So let's put a little ledge on there. Again, I think with this one, it would be more straight lines, wouldn't it? Because it's sort of more in keeping with what you've got there. Whereas, like earlier we said about having some slightly rickety lines and things like that. So this is going to have another window in there. See, I'm just having fun now. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? You're just having a little bit of fun and changing things up a bit. So let's put a little frame in there. And it's entirely up to you where it goes and what you're going to do with it. So in here, look, maybe we could have a little, again, bringing loops in on both sides. There it is. Both sides. Now we need a little bit of something at the top, so I'm going to put a little dome on. Again, you could use one of the stencils.
Yeah, plenty to
help
choose
create
from.
that. And I'm going to curve the roof a little bit. But because I've got that structure already there, it means that I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's shape that down a bit. See, it's all coming together now. Then this one will be this side as well. We've got some little sort of almost sort of tree trunks coming off there because we can put another little house there. Let me just bring that one in. You see, look, little tree trunk, flat end, because we're starting to put like little extra houses in there. Yeah. Which, easy done. But then, of course, we want some steps. We want a grand entrance.
Absolutely.
So let's put a step in there. And again, I'm using straight lines here because I think that's more in keeping. And I'm going to put myself a little line that way. There's one step. See, these are going to be quite long and sort of drawn out steps. Look at this. So let's put that one in there.
Now, like pillars with lights going up the side.
Absolutely. On there. So there's your long sort of stairway. I'm going to bring this out a little bit more. There we go. See this? There you go. A little bit of ground. And then, of course, at the bottom here, we've got like little lights.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that similar shape. And again, this is a little bit similar to the little person silhouette we drew earlier.
Yeah.
So you can see how things start to sort of work together. And then we need, I'm going to go with quite a large orb there. There we go. To give us a bit of light. Of course, this would actually be on the same, on the other side as well. But because of time, I'm just doing half of it. But then let's rub that bit out. A little bit of a shading in there. Just to give us that little bit of a light. So you can sort of see how it all works together. And how all of a sudden, rather than it being a few shapes, it's becoming a bit of a mansion in there. Little steps going on.
So as we're watching you do this, so it's great to read comments from like Mary, who says, I really feel that with Sandra's instructions, I'll be able to do this.
Yes.
Definitely going to be watching back when I get my collections.
Do it, yes.
And Nora just saying, this collection looks so cool. Our imaginations can run wild.
It absolutely does. And what you'll find is, as you're doing it, you've got that sort of starting point of the story and you're like, okay, this manor house, how does this work? Does it have a link to the locket? Maybe. And I think what's really nice about it is you'll start to create your own stories and you'll imagine who lives in this house and all that kind of thing. So it's really good fun to sort of just have a play with and see how it goes.
Cindy says, I was hoping for the starter set that Sandra had brought because it sold out before. I had a chance to order. So I decided to order the starter with stencil set and the affirmation set. I wasn't going to be left behind again, she says.
Oh, thank you so much. You'll love it.
She makes it all seem so doable.
Yes, it is. And I know it's easy for me to sort of stand here and say it's easy. What you've got to do, you've got to open the book and just try it. Don't sort of look at it and think, right, I'm going to make this the poshest and the best thing to start off with. Get yourself some scrap paper and a pencil and draw it out. Follow the instructions. And the nice thing about it is, if you think that something's not quite what you look at and you think, that's not quite what I want to do your own thing or change it about a little bit and just sort of go with it. You'll find that you'll very quickly get into the mode, and because I've written all the instructions, you'll sort of think, oh yeah, I can hear Sandra say that now, and oh, she did that on that other piece, and how does that work, and that worked well. Never expect it to look exactly the same as mine, because we're all different people. Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing to mention, because they're all going to look different, and that's what I want. If I wanted it to be the same, I would have given you a stencil with the full shape and the outline for you to draw around, and that's not what it's about. It's about you creating a piece of art for yourself.
And look, and pieces of art you can create with this collection. So the Secret Keyhole collection, you've got your Secret Keyhole through to the amazing Locket Lane as well. So you've got both of the options here. This is the house. There you go. So a finished example of the manor house number 29 there.
I don't know how much that'd be worth now, but you were the architect.
Exactly, millions. We sell that for millions. That's probably more the house that I would be living in, I think, to be honest with you. But I love this piece as well. I think that's so super cute. I mean, look at all the little houses lined up.
Your imagination starts to run wild.
Yeah. It's such a great collection. So that is the Secret Keyhole collection. You get Locket Lane and the Secret Keyhole. And listen, if you're already kind of into your Sanntangling, you know, you're sort of more confident with this, you're probably jumping in there. If this is something new to you today and you're thinking, I'd like to have a bit of a sort of crash course, bit of a starter kit, then get the starter bundle. This is proving very popular though. You're down to the last chance to really get this. Over 70% of the stock is gone, and this is where you can get your fine liner in there. You're getting your 2B pencil in there as well. Dobby does not come with this collection, but he's just showing you what you can
Although
get.
sometimes I wish he would.
Yeah. Close your ears. Close your ears. You're getting your tortillon in here as well, your postcards, stencil, and of course all of the instruction included in here. And what's so lovely, you know, you in very quick time, I know you're probably more convinced after watching the shows now, but if you started the show thinking, well, I won't be able to do this, you will be able to do this because you've got everything that you've got within this set. But then you've also got the show right now to go back and watch, the Wake Up Call show from earlier, and of course, if you want to find Sandra and the team, Sanntangle on the socials. Is it just Sanntangle, is it on Facebook?
I've just kept it really easy.
Yeah.
Sanntangle, yeah, and you'll find us, yeah.
So you can go there for more inspiration, ask questions, but jump in and grab this one quicker than the others because it's going to go. This is going to sell out. £25 or $35. I'm so engrossed watching, says Lynn, that I'm forgetting to comment. I've ordered the Secret Keyhole collection.
Oh,
and
thank
I've
you.
saved the show to rewatch for when I receive
such fun.
it. Yeah.
Such fun.
I can't wait as well. Do make sure that once you've got your collections back and you started working with them, obviously, you know, tag Sandra and Sanntangle on your makes, but stick them in our I'm a Crafter's Companion Facebook group as well and tag us in them so that we can see what you've done. Because it's all inspiring for everyone,
well,
isn't it?
Well, it certainly is, yeah. And what you'll find once you get to grips with the Locket Lane, there are lots of other areas. So we can bring back all the different sort of towns and villages that are around Locket Lane, and the story continues. So you're starting yourself off on a journey with that one. I'm excited to see where it's going to lead you. That's really good fun, that one.
Now this next collection, not shown you this yet, so we've got about 25 minutes or so to go, and we're going to show you the final collection that Sandra has brought to us today, which is From the Heart. 25% of the stock has already gone here. £18 or $25 is the price. Show us through this, Sandra. What are we getting?
Oh, goodness me. I got a bit carried away with this one. So the samples here, let me just sort of show you these. They're all based around hearts. But when you look at what you can create with them, I mean, a heart's good for anything, isn't it? And you can mix and match it, and you can do all sorts of things. So you can bring your flowers in, you could add sentiments and all that kind of thing. But the fact of it is, you are drawing them. You're going to start that. Look at that one. You're going to start that little journey off. I mean, even that one, doing the heart and then putting the detail around it. But mixing the two, adding the little symbols in, look, as well as you're working your way around. I mean, keeping it, look, you've seen that pattern in the moon, not the moon, the star that I did. But then here, look at this one. But then if I bring in this one, it's the same thing. But you see, it's got a different frame around it. Same thing. And then here, look at that. Let me just bring that other one back that we did from there. So you get to be able to draw this, but look, if you do a different version of it, once you've got to grips with it and your confidence builds, you're then going to be doing your own things. You see, you've got added little flowers and things going on here, little loops. We do a lot of those, so it's really nice to do. And then, of course, this one, it's kind of very grungy almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
That would work really well with the constellations in the back and things. But again, there's your little flower and your little curls. It all works together. So I thought we could do a quick drawing of one of these.
Nice. And I feel like all of these you can kind of bring into your affirmation set as well and use them in your journal, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Anything you want. You know, if you're thinking, even with Locket Lane, you know, you could actually have one of those affirmations in the book. You could have the houses around it, or you could bring the locket in. And they just all work together. It's coming from the same mind. I don't know if that's a good thing. But yeah, let's have a look at the stencil then. Okay, so you're getting a few different bits and pieces here. You're going to get your main stencil, but you've also got this one with the larger piece, your little set of frames. Circles, as I say, are real important. I'm also giving you this little bit because it's really nice to sort of have both of them. You might want to ink through, you might want to ink round, so we've included that as well. So in the booklet, let's have a look. You've got instructions for 5 different designs here. So you don't, so let's do this one being that it's here. You don't have to sort of start at the beginning. You could choose the one that you like. So drawing the heart. Okay, so you think, okay, which heart? Shape 3. It tells you, because remember, we're going to look at the, is it in the back page? We're going to look at the stencil and we're going to number the shapes. But having said that, you can use any of them. You don't have to use the one I've said use. So here we go, shape 3 it said, didn't it? Shape 3. So there you go, numbered. Now I have numbered mine with a Sharpie, because if I use the fine liner pen, and this is a great, and draw on it, it will actually rub off.
Yeah.
But that's great if you're marking things, because sometimes we do for symmetry. So here we go, let's put that in. I'm actually going to switch to this one. And drawing my first heart shape. There's lots of different sort of fat and thin ones in here, so you can pick which you like. So there's my bit, my heart. Okay, I'm going to join those little lines. Then the next bit would be is to draw a row of bubbles all the way around the shape. I'm not going to do that, it takes a little bit of time. And we want to sort of see how it goes together. So the next little bit is we need a bit of a swirl. So I'm going to go from the bottom. This could be a great little balloon, couldn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So let's do a swirl. So it's sort of like this. And then I've sort of stopped there and I've come back round there. Okay? Mm-hmm. That means that when I come back in and I double up my line, here we go. You see I'm drawing bits and stopping, drawing bits and stopping. But if you can do a confident stroke rather than sketchy, you're going to get a better line. So it's doubled it up. There we go. So from there, I'm going to sort of go straight to pen. And loops. Loops, again, have been a bit of a theme today, haven't they? And it's nice to sort of have that little bit of a mixture. Loops. So these look like little droplets, don't they now?
Yeah, they do.
Little loops. And one there. So I'm following the pictures. You can do whatever you like, of course. You can change the shape. You can do different things. But let's go with kind of what it's showing me here. I've got one there. You see, I've drawn a loop before, haven't I? It's a bit confident, that one. And then from in there, I'm going to come in with, let's have a look, 2 loops together. And then a little curve. And let's do a few more of those. 2 loops together, little curve.
Well done, Carol. She says, I've just ordered the starter collection, the affirmation and the hearts.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol.
Do you know, let us know how you're going on, because it'd be really nice to sort of see, especially if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
To actually come in and, you know, and to sort of be confident to have a go. Thank you. See, 2 little lines. I'm going to put a little line there.
I genuinely think everyone will pick this up a lot quicker than perhaps you might be thinking in your mind right now.
Yeah.
Very, very fun to do and quick to pick up. I know we're just looking at this as well. You mentioned earlier about your board. Should I just asking what you sealed your board with? It was with our spray, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I actually use your spray as well in my sketchbook. Because, you know, if you're sketching and you use a 2B pencil and you're blending out and all the rest of it, if you keep, you know, turn your pages over, you find that it does smudge, pencil does. So I actually do use spray and shine.
Yeah.
And spray it in my book as well. It works brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, right, I've done a few more bits and see I've got my bubbles round miraculously. And I'm sort of here, look, on step 7. So if I turn it over, it starts to give me a little bit of detail now. So let's have a look at this. I've got a little bit of a curve coming in here. Again, this depends. You might want to put a sentiment, or you might want to put one of those symbols if you want to.
Yeah.
But I'm going to sort of follow what it's showing me in the book here. I've got a bit of a wave. And then let's draw again another wave. Again, this way, everybody's going to draw it differently. And then if I do bubbles, I tend to start in the middle, not at the end, in the middle, because then you've got a little bit of a good starting point that you could come in and you could sort of get into your sort of your focus, you see, and then as you get further down, it doesn't matter about those smaller ones. See how that kind of works? Like so. And then I'd fill in the gaps with a bit of ink there. I mean, this, you could be using all sorts of your glitter paints and things to sort of make this work. It's just lovely.
Yeah, just chat about that again, because you mentioned it in the earlier show. What kind of things do you tend to colour with when you
yeah, it depends, again, what mood I'm in a sense, because sometimes coloured pencils are brilliant and they are my go-to.
Yeah.
But now and again, like this one, I could show you in a moment, the finished one, I've used watercolour pencils, but alcohol markers are a thing as well. I used to teach people how to use your markers. Back in the day in Chesterfield.
Oh,
yeah.
did you?
I did, yes. back in the day.
Producer Johnny's just saying that's how you met, back in day.
Yeah, so yeah, using alcohol markers if that's your thing, brush pens, paints, mixture of the two, whatever works for you, honestly. Because see, look, I've put some little lines on. I haven't got time to do all of them, but you can see how it works. Now, a nice little sort of trick as well. You know, we've got lots of these little lines coming off, and sometimes your line doesn't quite join. Put a dot on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can extend your dots as you're working your way down. This is going to give you that little bit of finesse, that little bit of a finish, and it starts to bring your piece together. Putting these little bits and pieces in. There we go. Well, I mean, look at those. Let's do another one there. So if I bring in the piece now that I've done, so I would put lots of lines in here and extra bubbles all over. You could even bring little rows of bubbles into your little flowers, like so. But here it is with watercolour pencils. Yeah, so inked around the edge, and spritzed it a little bit, and then of course the pencils. But you can see how it comes from a drawing. It suddenly looks like a piece of artwork, doesn't it?
It really does. A third of the stock of this heart has already gone. Very, very busy. Those are your stencils and your masks that you're going to get as well, plus, of course, all of the information that you need. Julie says, I didn't want to try something new. I've got enough projects on the go, but you got me again. Start a bundle and affirmation bundle purchase.
Do you know what the nice thing about these, though, is you can integrate it into what you've already got. So if you're a die cutter or a stamper, you can take elements of these loops and these flowers that we're drawing, and you can add it around your flowers or whatever it is you're stamping. If you've got a stamp of a fairy or a girl or a boy or anything like that, you can actually bring little little butterflies in, again using loops, 4 loops, little butterflies. You can draw a little frame around something, so it goes with what you've already got. So I wouldn't consider it a new craft. I would consider it something that's just going to enhance what you already do.
It's your last chance saloon to get any questions or comments in. We're going to give you a break in just a second, but before that, we do have a limited stock situation. I'm not surprised to learn that the Getting Started with Stencils collection is going to go. I think so many of you are perhaps new since the first time that Sandra visited us just a little while back. You all mesmerised, and that's why loads of you seeing this for the first time, you're going, I need a bit of this in my life. That's why this is now limited, which means you've got less than 10% of the stock remaining. So if this is in your basket, heed the warning and get it checked out right now. £25, $35, and when we come back we will have a final wrap up, and then we'll be just about done. The day's flown over. So launch party tonight, don't forget, live at 5. Ali is here. The fish will be turning up a little bit later on as well. The With Sympathy Bookworm collection's back in stock, and we've got a brand new launch for you on that show as well with the Character Edge dies. Got a showstopper available for you there, so still loads and loads to come here on Crafters TV. But in the meantime, as I said, get to the checkout, particularly if that is in your basket. Do what Dobby says and get to the checkout.
Hi Crafty Peeps, Victoria here. I love Crafters TV because it shows you the best tips and tricks on how to use your crafty stash. It also connects you with people from all over the world, and nowhere else on Shopping TV you have the opportunity to live chat with other people from the other side of the world, for example, and laugh with them and be there for them when they're having a tough time. But also know that when you're having a tough time, you can switch on Crafters TV and you can go on the live chat, and you know people will be there for you as well. And when you're having a bad time and not feeling well, when you're a bit down in the dumpster and you know Crafters TV is going to be on, there's going to be some laughters and there's going to be some fun. And the banter going on between the demonstrators and the demonstrators is just really fun and really good, and sometimes the only laugh you will get when you're not feeling well. So that's personally why I love Crafters TV the most. It's the connection, the personal connection with everyone that's involved in Crafters TV and all the other crafters out there. So Thank you, Sarah, from the bottom of my heart for coming up with Crafters TV and for bringing all the good fun and all the crafty tips to us. Yes, thank you. Keep up the good work and I love you. Bye.
Right guys, now we've been getting a lot of love from everybody since the start of the new year, but I just feel like there is even more we could give our viewers.
But we already give them entertaining shows, amazing offers, brilliant demos and in-depth craft-alongs. What more can we do?
Yes, but I still think we could give them more.
For Sarah, we're already live 3 shows a day, 5 days a week. I mean, what else are you thinking?
You're right. It looks like we might have to make it Saturdays.
That's right, join me over the next few Saturdays as we sit down, chat, craft and create live from the studio, giving you even more opportunities to watch and join in.
Catch some amazing deals at the weekend? Make it Saturday.
Want your chance to win some amazing prizes? Make it Saturday.
To virtually join us live and show us your makes? Make it Saturday. Want to have a chance for us to solve your craft problems in our crafty clinic? Make it Saturday. Want to vote for your favourite demo of the week? Make it Saturday.
So don't miss out on our brand new show, Make It Saturday, where the weekend comes to life.
The instruction and inspiration is mind-blowing.
The inspiration, the products to make our own and make it our own.
I get so much inspiration and tips and tricks from everyone there at Crafters Companion.
And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials.
I like to watch Crafters TV as often as I'm free, and I always get new ideas each time, and it certainly helps kickstart my mojo.
That is why I love Crafters Companion, because they make me look like a better crafter and give me ways to do things that I haven't tried before.
I wouldn't be the crafter I am today without Crafters TV, so thank you.
Final 10 minutes of the show. So anything else you want to ask or forever hold your peace? One question we have had asked is Melanie D asking about an angel policy of Sanntangle.
Okay, as long as you don't copy the stencil or the instructions, that's fine. Anything that you put on paper is yours, you've drawn it. Yeah, I mean, if you've drawn something and you love it and you think it'd be nice to put Sanntangle on the back or tag it in, say, or Sanntangle inspired, but you've drawn it, it's your artwork. So that's the way I see it.
Very generous is the answer to the question. Very generous. I can't believe how time is flying, says Amani. It is flying. So shall we take another look at the Simply Shoes and bag stencils? This is popular as well.
It's just lovely, this, because you look at these things and you think, do you know, I'd love to wear that. Although, I don't know, could you imagine a size 3 with a heel like that? It would just be no point.
Yeah.
So,
can you imagine a size 11 with a heel like that? You know?
Well, yeah, that'd be okay. You could do that. But they're just lovely, aren't they? And it's not just about the shoe, it's about the flowers and the detail that comes with it. You imagine doing Locket Lane and having these flowers around one of the houses.
Well, I love how you turn some of them into like houses. It's so fun.
Little sneakers. I'm probably more of a sneakers person these days.
Yeah.
Shoes. This is what my little team have come up with once they've had a go with the stencil, so you can see that you can start to do your own little designs. Look at this one. Sarah's done this. Look, it's got little coffins on. So it's a little bit Halloween-y as well.
Yeah. But
you can sort of create, look at your own little worlds. You see where the Locket Lane effect has come in there. Little flowers. Just look at that. Look at that heel. Little bags.
Oh, so cute.
So that you can sort of make them to match. You can do your own little thing.
I love that bag display. That's really cool. Display.
Look again, you can see this little ode to little Locket Lane again. But they're just beautiful. Absolutely. And this, I mean, drawing that. I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to demo a bag? Or do you want me to demo a shoe?
Oh,
We've not done a bag, have we?
A bag. No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Do a bag.
I don't mind. Are you sure?
Do a bag.
I don't mind.
I like the look of those shoes, but it's fine.
Can you tell that this is not? It has been prepared. I've got prep, but you know, doing it on the hoof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. This just sort of goes to show, doesn't it, that, yeah, we haven't pre-planned this. Evening bag. All right, so this is one I've opened. Shape 1 to form the main bag. Shape 1, here we go. There it is. These are really nice to do, actually. Shape 1. And then I've given myself a little bit of, come down a bit and put a line in. Okay, now I've actually given you some measurements on this one, but I'm not going to use them. Just going to sort of guess. Put a line there. I quite like that, though. I think it gives it a little bit, a little bit of a difference. But I know some of you out there do like to have measurements. So you see, look, I've sort of got one there, there and there. It just gives me a bit of an idea, because then I'm going to do this. That one there. That one there. And then here I'm going to go from, let's have a look. Oh, I've got a little bit of a mark there. I'm going to come down there. I'm coming down there.
Is the bag kit also potentially an easier one to start with, do you think?
Yeah, do you know, in a sense, any of them are. I think as long as you like the look of it,
yeah,
you can start anywhere you like. You don't have to start with the starter set. Yes, some of the projects are a little bit bigger in some of them, but the sense of achievement when you've actually created something is just crazy. It's doable, for sure. I think the only one that I would say wasn't a complete starter would be the affirmations.
Yes, okay.
I think what I would do with that one is I would probably start, you know, with the honesty and the flowers first and work to the other two. But it's just nice to sort of have a bit of challenge in some bits as well, isn't it? But they're all doable. The instructions are there. You can follow them through and you'll be absolutely fine with them.
And as I say, I think you'll surprise yourself once you've got this home and you've tried it once, and then I think you'll be away and probably kind of wish that you had ordered more of these. The shoes are so stinking cute, says Amani.
Oh, they are.
Stackhouse.
They absolutely are. But, you know, it depends what you want to draw. I know Alice at work with us, she was like, shoes? Why are you doing shoes? I don't think shoes would be for me. But then suddenly she saw us like, do you know what? Actually, shoes are for me. I'm going to give it a go. So it's just really nice that, you know, you can sort of change your view on something and you give it a go. They can be whatever you want them to be. They can be big and gothic. They can be small and pretty. It really doesn't matter, does it? It's whatever you want to sort of go with.
That's it, wherever your imagination takes you.
See, look at my little dragonfly already. There he is, look.
Oh, cute.
So that's used the stencil. You can see here, let's have a look.
And just for those people who are asking, obviously you're with us. Sandra will be back, but you do your Facebook Lives over on your Sanntangle page, don't you?
I do, yes, Tuesdays and Fridays, although I'm here today. So
okay.
It'll be tomorrow at 2 o'clock and Friday at 2 o'clock.
Nice. But
so,
normally
yeah,
a Tuesday at 2.
Yeah, come on. I've no idea what we're drawing yet, but we'll draw something. And it's always from scratch. It's always a little 8cm square piece of cardstock or cartridge paper.
Yeah.
And I'll start completely from scratch and we'll start and end it within half an hour, I would say.
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we're only on 530 something. Yeah. We actually did a bit of a challenge when we got to tile 500.
Yeah.
I challenged people to draw their favourite tile and send it in. And I've got over 500 tiles where people drew, but the messages that come with them as well and how it's helped people.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just need that little bit of time to yourself, don't you? And it's lovely to be able to draw like this, and it's great for, you know, even the kids learning to draw and do, you know, that kind of thing. But it just increases your self-esteem, your confidence, you know, being able to draw like this. And people, before, you know, they're like, oh, you drawn that? You're like, yeah, and they don't believe it, and you sense of pride when you've actually created something. And we're using such simple lines and curves. It's unbelievable.
You absolutely need to go and have a look on the Sanntangle page, by the way. I've just had a quick scroll through, and some of the images that have been sent through by some of your Sanntanglers are absolutely incredible. If it's inspiration you're after, then get on that page, because my goodness me. And I think it will give a lot of people, perhaps who are thinking about diving in today, the opportunity to go, well, actually, I can definitely do this. I can definitely create. With these.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of, you'll see a lot of animals and things on there at the minute, because that's one of our kind of a newest collections.
Rabbits, giraffes.
Yeah, sadly we hadn't got that collection out when I booked this.
Maybe next time, Sandra.
So, but you know, it's, I mean, the menagerie collection is just...
There's some amazing mandalas as well in this there too.
Yes. Now the mandalas, the unusual ones, are literally you get a stencil with dots on, and you think, oh my goodness, how? So anyway, speaking of dots and drawing,
yes.
I mean, look at this. I mean, hopefully you've been watching. You don't need me to talk. You just need me to draw. I've done this very quickly, and it's sort of developed into this lovely little purse with this little dragonfly on it. Let's bring in my little tortillon. There we go. Of course, you can, adding glitters to this and your different colours. I mean, I'm keeping it kind of basic, not really gone. Colour takes time to do, doesn't it? So we don't.
I think it's been a great show today for the point of that you've shown, I think, at least one thing from each of the collections, and you've shown that step by step. Obviously, you don't need the instructions, but step by step, you open up your book, you see the instructions, and it's really achievable. Even though it looks impossible, it's really possible.
This is it. I have tried to sort of go along with the instructions, but you will find once you've drawn a few, you'll be going your own way with it as well. But just going through that and showing you how it's done. I could stand here and just draw it, but it's important, I think, now and again, that I do bring this in and say, look, you see this step I've done. And I've followed these steps all the way through. See, the only thing I've not done, I've not put these leaves on. They look like little paddles, don't they? They're really sweet.
Oh, yeah.
But, you don't have to have everything. I've got a little bit of a chain link going on here, but I've left it so it looks like a little bit of cord. You can change it up and do whatever you want to do with it. It's your design. But, of course, always sign your work. Always.
Apparently, Chris...
hey, Chris.
Says it's number 537 tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. At least somebody's keeping me on track. 537, that's crazy, isn't it? And they're all completely different. Don't start at number 1. Come in tomorrow and look at tomorrow's. And I've suggested to people if they want to sort of go back and maybe go back in 10s.
Yeah.
And then work from there. And then you get a selection. And then have a look at the thumbnails on YouTube and just have a flick through. Think, I like the look of that one. I'm going to do that one. But it actually helps you with the stencils because as I'm drawing or showing you curves or showing you how to shade, all those little bits feed into these stencils and you think, okay, I saw her do that on a video and I tried it, but I can actually do it on here now. And it's all from the same hand, so it's all the same sort of slight curve. Once you get into the grips of it, you'll start to sort of think, yeah, I've got this.
Love how fast as a minor that you can go from a piece of blank paper to a full-on piece of artwork. And Tracy just saying that is the cutest dragonfly ever.
Oh.
Simply Shoes and the bags collection you're going to get in this bundle. Very busy for this now as well. So $39.99, $55 is the price if you want to jump in and grab this. Again, all of your instruction there, plus all of the stencils that you'll need, and you've got the Simply bags in there too. I just think you're spoilt for choice today, and down the line, Sandra will be back bringing you more. So let us know what you want to see. Message us and send emails. Let us know what you want to see next time, so that we can make sure we've got exactly all of the goodies that you guys want, whether it's animals, whether it's in the mandalas. Get on the Sanntangle page and have a bit of a snoop around, and obviously sign up and follow, and then you'll get loads of inspiration as well to get you going with this amazing craft. Thank you, Sadra. I feel like the day's gone absolutely so quickly. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us and bringing all your inspiration.
Do you know, it's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. I've got to go home now with Dobby in the car, so...
Oh.
Yeah, he's got some sweets and he's got his can of pop, so you can imagine. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I could do with him in the back.
He's not going to be going, are we there yet, is he? Are we there yet?
Oh, he does that, yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, just do that, yeah.
Well, while you've got the journey home with Dobby, I've got, not Dobby, but Debbie. You got Dobby, I got Debbie. Debbie and Ali are going to be here for launch party in an hour's time. So they're keeping me busy today, aren't they? I tell you what. Going to be great tonight as well. Yeah, they won't be quiet, I tell you what. We've got the Character Edge dies. They are brand new. They'll be in tonight. The new showstopper is live. Check out the website for that. And we've got the Bookworm collection. That's back in its entirety. Showstopper option with the free 6x6 paper pad. And you've also got the With Sympathy back in stock too. Once again, massive thank you to Sandra. Hope you loved our Sanntangle shows today. Get the goodies. Now is the time to be checking out. And I will be back with you in an hour's time with Debbie on Launch Party.